Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hurricane week here in Florida, so I thought I would do something a little bit different. Posted a couple videos this week just going through the steps I'm taking to help different players based on how they move and where they're currently at in their game. Super fun for me to take players on that journey and help them get better. So in this example, I was lucky. I actually went to Colorado a couple weeks ago, worked with a couple players out there, had a great setup, and wanted to go through sort of the progression. Everyone has different goals and are at a different point in the journey. This player is new to golf, been playing about 3 years. We've done great to get him shooting now into the 80s, low 80s sometimes. So incredible progression in such a short period of time. Now we're looking to take the game to the next level. So this is from a camp in Toronto in the summertime, just where the swing was at that time. So very nice strike on the ball. Club obviously works a bit behind and then regroups and then he hits it. So one of the goals was to improve the flow of the swing, try to get things working a little bit more efficiently, potentially adding a little bit more speed, but also we're trying to get as much flow in the swing, make it a little bit less effort every time, and see where the steps sort of take us from there. So we start with, like every player in the Obsessed Golf Club, we start with the body movement assessment. We need to know where your gifts are, where your limitations are, and if we know that, we can tailor a swing that fits you, okay? So we're going through, this is not this player's first time doing it, but we're reevaluating, going through everything here. So we're looking at lat length. So this is, can your hands lift above your head? Pretty important in the golf swing. And then if you're not able to do that high of a lift, then we have to make adjustments. This player could lift relatively high. So in the body movement assessment, we have 3 different levels for each movement: pro level, elite amateur, and the developing amateur. So in this one, he's in the elite amateur level. So we go into spine segmentation. Basically, how much can you flex and extend different parts of your spine? So we're sort of going through that, looking at how this player moves, and then again, understanding how that's going to fit into the swing, okay? So flexing and extending your spine, pretty important when it comes to the golf swing. Now we're looking at thoracic rotation for this player. So in here, this would be a bit of a limitation in the sense that the goal would be to have the elbow point up to the sky. You can see it's pointed over to the side. So we know this is the player's backswing turning to the right side. We know that the backswing is not going to be a full 90-degree chest turn or potentially more. So we have to find the right pieces of the puzzle to fit this tendency, okay? So continuing the progression. So if we go back to the first swing, so now building those pieces, okay? So we go, arms work behind the body, because if the chest can't rotate, we're gonna get depth somehow. So the arms are gonna move back. Then we have a late arm lift. And then from there, decent movement to get the club back onto the ball, okay? So we're trying to tidy up that efficiency. We're going into the movements, and we're looking at, first step is, can we sync arm lift with backswing turn? We know backswing turn's not gonna be a ton through the chest. We're gonna make sure the lower body's helping us get that turn. So everyone's a little different in how much they need to extend and exaggerate in their movements. So this player, we had to exaggerate the movements. And then you can see in the backswing, when the hands are in front, you can see how the downswing is out in front of that golf ball. But if you think about the pattern before, the hands were behind the chest, having to work in front in the transition. So now we get the hands in front, the club still goes outside, which is fine. That's the first step in this journey, right? We get the club and hands at a better spot at the top. We still get the body rotation. So we just keep going along this line. First step of the puzzle here, and good body rotation, good lower body rotation, arms in a better spot, and then you see that club sneaks outside that ball in transition. And then as we keep going, we keep progressing, keep doing the same drill, same focus. And then as he starts to get more comfortable, you can see I'm adding the stick into the downswing. So now we have the intention of, how do the arms lift with pelvis turn, not chest turn, because the chest is going to be pretty limited. And then how do we get the arms to start to work back down from that movement. You can see how now in this first move down, the forces into the club are more neutral. It's less across the club. It's more going down the club. And this one, the club still snuck a touch outside, so it was hit a bit on the heel, it launched right. So we just kept going down that path, refining that feel of, okay, good up, and then coming down. So this one was great. Obviously, the club at the top was a little bit shut. Again, that was the right matchup for the old pattern of the hands working out and across. Now they're working down. So a shut club face is probably going to launch it left, which it was. But then we just kept going down that road, making those steps forward as we kept going. Okay, so once we got the concepts right, so for this player, figured out how they move, figured out what the best concepts were going to be for them, using the lower body, getting a good turn with the lower body, not worrying about a full shoulder turn, and then making sure we got the arms lifting to sync that up, and then how the transition would work. So everyone's a little different. Some people, first step is just get the backswing, and then we go to the next step. Some people, like this player, we were able to continue to progress through the session as we kept going. So now we got the arms up, backswing position's awesome, and now we're just trying to match up. So you can hear I'm using the stack here for the downswing, or just the overall movement. So I like the stack for patterning. Once you get the pattern, we can start to add the speed. If we don't have the pattern, we don't want to add speed to a pattern that's not efficient, okay? So for this player, we found what's going to be the right pattern and efficiency for them. Now we're using the stack just to work on the patterning. So the club's working up, and then we're getting the club down. So a little bit of the timing of when that's going to be. We don't need a second movement at the top. We can just start to move down. And then as we kept going, we continued that progression, getting the club in the right spot, getting the arms to move, getting the club forces into the club at the right time. For this player, it was quite a bit sooner than he was used to, and quite a bit more early effort than he was used to, okay? So we're just sort of talking through what he was feeling here. Again, once we have the concepts, I'm not sure what you're gonna feel. Everyone's feelings are gonna be totally different, so that's why I think it's really important to have that sort of back and forth when we're talking. Hey, what'd you feel here? How did that feel? That was and then I'm giving feedback. That looked great, looked more efficient. And then let's tap into what that sense was for you, and then we build on that, okay? So we're just talking through the different movements and then the forces. And then we start to add a little bit more energy to these. He's just walking through the feels, and then here we're doing it again. And now we can start to hear that tool on the end of the stack making that little whistle noise, okay? So, and then we're talking about how now there's more force, we're gonna have to control the force. So this is the back and forth that we're going through here. We sort of keep going on that journey. Now the movement's getting better. Let's put a club in there. Let's see what it's like with the club, and getting that same feeling of the club up and then getting the club down at the right time, okay? So we keep going, keep doing that. Again, part of this is, for this player, once he was clear, okay, so if I hit end range of my rotation with my chest, what am I going to do to get the club up? So for this player to get the club up, he would lift his arms late, and then he would start to move his upper body forward, which would pull the hands more on top. So that was the matchup. So now we're getting the arms and chest to move at the right time. We're calming down how much lower back extension we're getting at the top of the backswing. So those were big pieces of the puzzle. I have this now into a swing speed mode, okay? So we're talking about intent, getting the movement, but then also adding a bit of energy to it. This is a 9-iron here, we're at 80.7, so pretty solid. This is probably about 4 or 5 miles an hour faster than this player was at the start of the session, okay? And then we just keep going along those same lines. And this last one was 81.6. And then this one, you can see there's a nice load up, unload, okay? And then I was talking through, okay, TrackMan average, 9-iron, 85. How close to 85 can we get? We look here, so that was a good move. And then I go, so we got 82.2. And then this one was, I think, the fastest of the day for him. So great flow. And that last one, I think, was 80. Oh, this one actually. There we go. So this one was the fastest one, this one previous here. So when it loads up on the screen, you can see, so great flow, great swing, looks effortless. And you can see on the swing there, the previous swing was 84.2. So, I mean, we're right around tour average, pretty incredible from a movement standpoint, more efficient, matching the player's body, matching the player's movement. That's really important to me. Like if we're trying to do something you physically cannot do, it's going to be pretty frustrating for you because it's not going to work, right? It's not going to happen. Or are the concepts not correct? Your intent and how you're trying to move the club or how you're trying to move your body or your thoughts of why the ball is doing certain things, if they're not correct, that's when we can go down the wrong road also, okay? So did a great job. Actually, this one, I see on the board, I think that was 84.3, so that might have been the fastest of the day, so incredible work. And then as we kept going, you'll see some different progressions. So then to keep syncing up the body in the arms from the standpoint of the lift and sort of turn or top of backswing, we got the Pro Sender large sphere in there. And then this was part of sort of our discussion as we went. So we're talking about using Sportsbox, which every member in the Obsessed Golf Club, we use Sportsbox to give you some reference points or training points, basically to quantify a little bit of what you actually do and where we need to keep pushing the needle. So for this player, like I was saying earlier, the chest, so when we're talking about sway gap, the chest was getting in front of the pelvis in the back, at the top of backswing in transition. So that was almost a positive number. As we kept going, you can see greens all the way across. Now the lower body, because of the top and the idea of where the club is moving, the lower body is actually ahead of the upper body, which is great for transition. So we got a good sway gap. That was just part of the discussion. And then as we kept going, we got the Pro Sender sleeve on now, just refining the club face and wrist position as we kept adding force. So for this player, it was get in the sleeve, get out of the sleeve, and that was helping us control it. We continued to progress, went into wedges, with concepts with wedges, and then into short game. So we did a whole bunch of work moving towards this player's goal, exactly what he was trying to do, try to get more efficient, matching his swing to his body motion. Really fun. I hope you guys enjoy getting a little bit more sort of the pieces of the puzzle and how I like to help players. If you want more help for your game, make sure you check out the ObsessedGolfClub.com. Super fun, lots of great members, and love helping people get better at this great game. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for watching.